Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Josh, and today we're going to talk about new solutions in the fast-changing world. So, yung previous discussion natin is all about saving money, no? So, there were five proven ways and effective ways to save money, and now we are going to learn more about new solutions in the fast-changing world. Kasi maraming nangyari sa atin, no? And over the past few decades, marami talagang changes. So, with that, let's get started. So, look around you, right? Just observe your environment, your city, everything. Just look around you and pay attention to what's happening. No? Everything is just rapidly changing right now, and I'm sure you can relate to that. Right? Old solutions don't work anymore. Kasi before you go to school, get a degree, land a job, earn money, and you'll be fine. Kasi hindi naman mataas yung mga presyo nila dati. Everything is, very, very cheap back then. But today, you go to school, get a degree, land a job, earn money, but why are you in debt? Yun yung problem ngayon. Kahit na nagtatrabaho tayo, kahit na kumikita tayo, pero meron pa rin tayong utang. Okay, meron tayong problem sa money. Okay? Everything is changing except our financial strategy. Kasi the world is also changing. Kaya it's very important for us to understand what changes are happening. Work hard or work smart. When it comes to finances, the only skill most people know is to work hard. People wonder why they have money problems, and they think that more money will solve the problem. Okay? But only if you realize that it's their lack of financial education is the problem. A problem can never be the solution to itself. So if you have money problem, then you can't solve it with more money. They say they have money problems and they would say, kung meron lang talaga akong pera, or if I had more, then my problems would go away. No! Yung core ng problem natin, when it comes to finances, it's not because we don't have, but because we don't plan or we don't understand. Why is there a need for financial intelligence? Well, it is important for us to be aware how our personal finance is going. That's one. Are you moving towards financial freedom? Or are you currently stuck in your financial situation? So, without financial intelligence, the knowledge of how the money works, we are not ready to face the adversities of the world we live in. Okay? A world where spending is emphasized over saving. So, simply put, without financial intelligence, it's almost impossible to become wealthy. Kaya, yung first na lesson natin, I really emphasize financial education and execution. So, without financial intelligence, without financial education, then it's almost impossible to become wealthy. If an opportunity lands in your lap, and you have no money, and the bank won't talk to you, what else can you do to get the opportunity in your favor? Yun it's being smart about your choices. If your hunch is wrong, what you're counting on doesn't happen, how can you turn a lemon into millions? That is financial intelligence. So it's all about how you respond to the situation. So it is not much what happens, but how many different financial solutions you can think of to turn lemon into a million. So it is how creative you are in solving financial problems. Okay? So intelligence is the ability to solve problems. So if you have financial problems, then it follows that you need financial intelligence. Right? What financial intelligence can do is give you better options. Right? So you could make wiser financial decisions. Now, I have a scenario for you. Okay? And this is how we can test your financial intelligence. What if someone gave you 3 million pesos? How are you going to use it? Or how are you going to spend it? Letter A, buy a house and lot. Letter B, buy a brand new car. Letter C, preserve the money. Or letter D, all of the above. What's your answer? Letter A, B, C, or D? Well, a financially intelligent person would choose letter D, through investing the money. Here's how. Let's say you invested 3 million and you have conservatively 10% yearly return. That means you get 300,000 per year or If you divide it to 12, that's 25,000 a month. Okay? Now today you can already find a rent-to-own house and lot, or perhaps yung housing units amounting to 10 to 15,000 monthly amortization. Right? So, yung 25,000 mo, 10 to 15,000 i-allocate mo for the house and lot. And the rest of the money, which is 10,000, you can use to pay for car loan. By the time you already paid up the house and lot, and the car loan, you still have the money intact kasi naka-invest nga, and you're earning 10%, which is 300,000, 25,000 a month. So that's the power of financial intelligence. If you think through how you're spending your money, how you're able to budget and manage it and allocate it, then you can make wiser financial decisions. What is more important? Saving or spending? Of course, you already know the answer, right? Budget or gadget? Education or vacation? So you have to weigh in your options. Most Filipinos would rather spend their money on liabilities than assets. And instead of buying healthcare insurance, life insurance, they'd rather buy the latest gadgets or designers' clothes. So that's how they want to spend their money. And instead of building an emergency fund, we'd rather spend our money to birthday parties, fiesta, or Noche Buena, and all that stuff. Right? I mean, there's no harm in celebrating that, but don't overspend. Don't do it lavishly. This is the scenario where the poor is looking rich and the rich is looking poor. And there's a huge difference. Poor people, they want to look rich, so they buy gadgets, they buy fancy clothes. But the rich people, they want to look just enough. They don't want to look rich, or they don't want to flashy things, because they know the value of money. Right? Now, you have to prepare for your future. So we spend an average of, let's say, 100 pesos per meal, right? And let's see how much money you will need if we plan for the future, okay? If we spend 100 pesos per meal and we eat 3 times a day, that's 300 pesos per day. And that's just you alone, right? How many days in a year? 365 days. So 300 pesos times 365 equals 109,500 pesos per year. So you're spending more than 100,000 for food alone, for yourself alone. That's why we really need to think our future. Considering the food price is the same, in 20 years that's 2.19 million or 2.2 million pesos. Now, is the 2.2 million your real problem? It's not. The real problem is how you're able to manage your money. So cash flow is basically this. You have your income, and of course, you spend your income. You spend that money you're receiving. And how you spend it will determine your future. If you spend it on asset versus liability, then you have more chances of earning another source of income, right? The asset can make you money, and that money can also be considered an income. So it's an additional income for you, so that you have more free-flowing money within your income, right? So that's how you compound your money. That's how you grow your money. But if you're only spending on liabilities, it's a dead end, right? That's why I really recommend that we, spend some portion of our income sa asset. Ano ba yung mga asset? Asset, of course, investment, yung mga healthcare, real estate, life insurance. Yung liability naman is ginagastos natin sa shopping, gadgets, cinema, party, and whatever things that we spend unnecessarily. Yung masasuggest ko sa inyo is that your income, kailangan natin i-allocate yung money for assets. So there are 3 rules in achieving financial security. The rule number 1 is to manage your money. Okay? So income minus expenses equals savings? Wrong. Okay? Income minus tithe and savings equals expenses and lifestyle. This is the prosperity formula. So don't save what is left after spending, spend what is left after saving. Wala talagang sweldo na kasya. Ang sweldo, pinagkakasya. Yan yung sabi ni Sir Rex Mendoza. No? So, you have to come up with a monthly budget plan. Kaya nga, when it comes to our finances, we really have to plan for it. Right? Kasi if you don't plan for your finances, well, guess what? Other people have plans to get your finances. Other people have plans to take your money. Right? So, save some or spend all. Okay? Or spend before receive. Ano ba yung ginagawa mo? So, for me, it's better to save some. Some people, they spend all. Even some, they spend before they receive. Inuutang na before nila na-receive. So, rule number 2 is to manage your time. Okay? First was manage your money. Now you need to manage your time. Most of the rich people started working for a company, right? But they became rich not because they worked for that company. Believe it or not, they became rich because of what they did after working for that company. So they managed their time, their schedule, and this is the story of rags to riches. Okay? This is how they manage their time. So let's say they work 10 hours, they sleep 8 hours, you still have extra 6 hours. What are you doing in your 6 hours? That's the biggest question. Right? Are you just scrolling through Facebook and Instagram and watching YouTube vlogs and all that stuff? Or are you making more money during the 6 hours? Okay? Waste time maybe social media, or make other investments or learn something new. Diba? So pwede nating gawing productive yung extra hours natin. I would suggest sa 6 hours na free time mo or extra hours mo, spend at least 3 hours a day on a sideline or a business, and you will be shocked with how much money you will earn, right? If you spend just even 3 hours, just half of your extra hours, then you'll be shocked how much money you can earn from your other business. Rule number 3 is to manage yourself. You need to open your eyes to greater opportunities. And of course, motivate yourself to become financially intelligent, right? Do not follow the crowd. Discipline yourself in saving money, in investing it. Start by getting educated financially. Ito yung problema eh. Most people follow the crowd. When there's a crowd, there's something wrong. Right? When there's a herd mentality, there's something wrong. That's why we need to understand our situation first, because every situation is unique. And then discipline yourself in saving money and investing it. Right? Because that's how you begin to manage yourself. Now, let me tell you a story of how these 3 rules changed my life. Back then, I used to work as, BPO, kaya medyo English tayo. I was working there sa BPO, and parang na culture shock ako or maybe sa lifestyle, kasi very lavish, almost every weekend party, tapos shopping, yun. And the flashy lifestyle really got me attracted to it. Every weekend napaparty din, nagsha-shopping din. So, and then there came a point in my life that I can no longer afford that lifestyle. That a few days before my payday, wala na akong pera, or maybe I have a little. So I thought myself, what happened? Like, paano naging konti yung pera ko? So, and I recall last weekend I spent this much on just food alone. I partied, I spent this on liquor. So I was chasing a lifestyle I can't afford. So I realized, I came into my senses, I thought myself, this is not good. Right? Because if I continue doing this, if ipagpatuloy ko yung pagpa-party, pagpa-shopping, then it wouldn't put me in a better financial position in the future. Kaya I have to come to my senses and told myself, okay, this has to stop. Right? And so I applied the 3 rules. I managed my money first, of course. When I receive, save money. Right? No more gimmicks, no more party, no more shopping, no more nothing. I managed my time. I started a side hustle. After work, I go straight at home. Right? No OTs, no nothing. I go straight at home, work on my side hustle. And my side hustle was exactly this Philippine finance. This is how it started. Next is I managed myself. I started to discipline myself. I needed to understand how my behavior works. Among the three, yung pinaka mahirap talaga is to manage yourself. Because it's not like school, di ba? Sa school kasi, meron tayong quiz, meron tayong exam, meron tayong mga assignments. We get evaluated in school. But in life, we don't. Nobody's like, hindi ka nag-save ngayon, so -1 ka dito, di ba? Nag-spend ka, nag-party, -5 ka dito. Nobody is tracking our life. Instead, we're doing it freely on our own, volition, and we want to make sure that we manage ourselves kasi only you can manage yourself. Only you can track yourself. Only you can audit yourself. You know yourself well, that's why you need to manage yourself. Question: how do you want to become a millionaire? We want to become billionaires or trillionaires, but of course, we start as a millionaire. Do you want to become a millionaire by working for money or money working for you? Those are, very different choices, okay? You work 8 hours for a company. The question is, who gets rich in that situation? Of course, it's a company because you're working for them. Your efforts, everything is for them, right? How many hours do you work for yourself? How many hours do you work for your own business? You work for a company, makes the company rich. But you want to make sure after you work for a company that makes them rich, you also work for yourself to make yourself rich. Henry C. May he rest in peace, no? But Henry C., if you really knew his life, he was a very hardworking person and he used to work before. But alam mo saan siya naging mayaman is sa side hustle niya after work. Same nilang Lucio Tan or sino pa yung mga very successful people. They used to work for a company, but because they worked on a side hustle, they worked on their own business, and later that side hustle and that business became bigger than how much they're earning from their company, then they quit their job. People make the mistake in quitting their job and then starting a business. No, you don't do that. You don't want to jump in both feet. You want to test the waters. So, business, but working at the same time. And once your business starts to blow up, makes you more money than your work, then you can quit altogether. So you have to learn from your finances. If you work like for 10 years right now, okay, and then your annual income is 300,000, that's 25,000 a month. Your total income over the past 10 years, that's 3 million already, right? How much have you saved from your 3 million? That's the biggest question. So, you work so hard to earn income, yet you have little to no savings left. Do you think you're in a good position? You're not. If you haven't worked for 10 years, then don't wait for that time before you realize this lesson. You can learn from it now. Okay, don't wait for 10 years only to realize na sayang, dapat nag-save ako, di ba? So, right now, you have to take action, you have to save money. But if you've already worked for 10 years or more, then I guess you already know how important it is to save money. Delaying your savings or investment is just delaying your wealth. Many people, mamaya na pag mataas yung market, mamaya na pag baba yung market, mamaya na pag meron akong tayo, mamaya na pag meron. If you're delaying your investment, you're also delaying your wealth. If you're delaying your savings, you're delaying your wealth. It doesn't reflect on the person who's helping you to do that, it reflects on you. So, let's redefine savings. Savings is paying yourself first, and it's preserving your money. You set goals for the money because others are setting goals to get all your money. Mind you, ads are left and right, sales left and right, online. So, they have a lot of ways to take your money away from you. Save money to invest, not to spend. People make the mistake of saving money so that they can spend it for something. This is called the consumer mentality and must be corrected. Saving money has always been about preserving it, growing it, and protect it from all enemies of money, which is tax, inflation, and exchange. Another scenario, which is si Juan. Si Juan is 25 years old, right? And Juan saves 20,000 per year, right? On the first year, nag-save siya ng 20,000 and it grew 12%. Okay? Uh, at next year, 26 siya, another 20,000, and it grew another 12%, and then on top of the 20,000 capital, so on and so forth, that he saved from age 25 to 30 consistently 20,000 per year. Okay? And by the age 60, he would have gotten 5.4 million. Yan si Juan. Tularan si Juan. Ah. Now, we have another guy, si Pedro. Si Pedro parang medyo cool kid, di ba? Pedro is spending his money at age 25 to 30. And then when he became 30, he saw Juan na, wow, Juan is saving money every year. Gusto ko rin mag-save. So he tried to catch up with Juan. So, ginaya niya si Juan. At age 31, nag-start siya ng 20,000 until age 36, 20,000 consistently every year. But at age 60, Pedro only got 2.7 million, while Juan at age 60 got 5.4 million. So do you see the difference between starting early and, catching up later? That's the reason why you need to start saving and start investing now, because it's very important. Time is your ally when it comes to money. Where do you put your money? Okay, do you put it in your closet, right, where you can hide your money there? Or do you put it in a safe? Or maybe in the bank? Or better yet, you put it in mutual funds or stock market. You invest it. Now, whatever your choice is, it will define your financial future. The best course of action is to educate yourself and apply what you've learned. Everything that you've been listening so far, it's important that we understand this and of course take action. So we have to apply this. Get a mentor who can, guide you make better financial decisions. Right? I can be your mentor. We can have one-on-one. Right? And then of course encourage your friends and relatives to strive for financial independence. What better way to become a source of inspiration para sa kanila? Okay? Take charge of your money, right? Control your money instead of it controlling you. Create a definite plan in achieving financial freedom. For most people, they want financial freedom, and if you really ask them, how do you want to achieve financial freedom, or do you have a plan in order to achieve that? They have a vague idea. They don't have like a step-by-step process. Like they just want to become rich. So it's important that you have a course of action, you have a plan to follow. Okay? Start your savings program as soon as possible. That's the least you can do. Change your money mindset. Money is not something we have to spend all. It's something we need to keep and grow. Right? Now, money is for saving and investing. We will need the money to work for us when we are no longer capable of working for money. Okay? Investment is no longer a rich man's game. It's everyone's reality. Back then, you need at least, 50,000 to 100,000 in order to become an investor. But right now, you only need 1,000 pesos. Everybody can afford 1,000 pesos. The only goal that is impossible to achieve is the one you never started working on. Okay? Do not delay your investment. The best time to invest is now. So, what I know makes me money, and what I don't know loses me money. Right? So, do not delay anymore. Don't wait until it's too late for you to realize. Those who are not willing to invest in the future doesn't deserve to have one. Okay? Start your investment now. If you're going to wait until you're ready, then you're going to wait forever. I know a lot of people, antay na lang ako pag bumaba yung market, pag they all have excuses. They all are waiting, and so they're gonna wait forever. Okay? Until one day you realize that you really have to take action. I used to be like them before. Like, I hesitated a lot. Talagang, I thought myself ba na, may invest ba talaga ako? I-risk ko ba talaga yung pera? So, yun ang iniisip ko dati. But until I did it, that's when I realized that, actually, it all takes for you to just do it. Just do it. No questions asked, just do it. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, stop making excuses, and start taking action. The best way to grow your money is to invest in mutual funds, especially when you're just getting started. Now that you know how to save money, now that you're starting making money, you need to start investing your money. You need to start growing your money. And the best way to do that is through mutual funds. Now, what is mutual funds? Well, it is a diversified investment that is traded in securities such as stocks, bonds, and of course other money market. The funds are pooled from many investors, one investor, another investor, and then they're pooled, and then they are professionally traded by full-time fund managers. People who buy shares of mutual fund company, they become shareholders or part owner of that company. So if you buy a mutual fund, if you invest in a mutual fund, you become part owner of that mutual fund. That sounds good, right? Being a shareholder or part owner of that company. These are the leading mutual funds in the Philippines, Philequity, Sun Life, FAMI, ATR ChemEng, and Philam Asset. So we also have Soldivo funds. So these are all the leading mutual fund companies in the Philippines, and I think a lot of them you can start with just 1,000 pesos. Banks versus mutual funds. Now, if you put your money in the bank, you're called a depositor, right? And when the bank invests that money, in securities, commercial papers, stock equities, and they earn 12%, they're only going to give you 0.5%. That's because that's what they promised, when you become a depositor, right? Your money, the banks use the money to make their money and only give you a portion of it. But when you put your money in the mutual funds, and the mutual fund, earns 12%, you also earn 12%. Why? Because you're a shareholder. So that's the advantage of being a shareholder of this company, because you get to share the same profits. So, why mutual funds? Because mutual funds are a good long-term investment. They are tax-free. Ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina. Tax-free yung mutual funds natin sa Philippines. Compared to US, they're taxed. But here in Philippines, tax-free. This is where the rich people put their money so that they don't get taxed. Ito yung secret ng mga wealthy, diba? Mutual funds. It is diversified, meaning marami siyang options for the investment part. This is stress-free investing, and I can tell you from my experience, I invest both in mutual funds and stock market, and stock market is a lot more stressful than this. This is stress-free. Just put your money and then just probably forget about it 2-3 months and then come back and you have gains, right? Next is it's safer investment. It is professionally managed, right? Kasi may fund manager, and it only requires small capital, right? How much do you need? For only 1,000 pesos, you already can open an investment account. All you need is a TIN number and a fully accomplished application form. Now, you can even do it online. These leading mutual fund companies are offering zero sales load to us. Let's say you invest 10,000, they get 3.5% from 10,000 as a sales load. But with the help of Philippine Finance, we can have the sales load fee waived, meaning zero sales load. Yung sales load parang entry fee or parang cut nila, but with the help of Philippine Finance, we can waive that and get the full potential of your investment. Okay? People who don't take advantage of these tax savings offered legally are missing a great opportunity to build their asset. It is very important that we take advantage kasi tax-free siya. And it might not be tax-free in the next 5 years. So, better do it now. Now, if you want to start investing in mutual funds, please feel free to message us on our page and in our Facebook group. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you on the next video. Wrap.